Dun.
This is going to be a video of how to show you how to make the extra side things on your mertail, like different types of them. Because I've watched a lot of videos and seen a lot of people do them, and this will be with fabric. I mean, you might be able to do with rubber or plastic or whatever in your monofin. But this is how I did the side ones. This is a double layer stitch. And what you do is this already, thank goodness, had a seam sewed into it. And so I just sewed the seam into it and folded it inside out and sewed the seam in. And that would just simply be like, that's a piece of paper, and there was already a fold in the middle. And I just sewed, this was the other piece of fabric, this is the tail. I would just sew it and turn it inside out, and it would be this pretty thin part. Now there's a bunch of different types of ones you can do, and there's a lot that I've seen on the internet. Now there's side fold ones like this, they're like flappy, or they're just like this, or it'll be a piece like this. Like the other side of this, where it's just one. But then there's also the ones that are shaped like things, like maybe it'll be shaped like this. Let's see. I guess like a dolphin fin. You can sew those, and all you would do is turn the fabric inside out and lay this in between the pieces of fabric, and you could have like a dolphin fin. The other versions that I've seen are, the way you could do it is, I would cut it first before you sew it in. But you could do, I would just cut it like this. And if you want like wiggity-bees, and you would just sew it here, but make sure and leave extra, because if this isn't supportive enough, like if you sewed it here, real close, it would just rip off. I mean, fabric most likely wouldn't unless it was really thin, but, and then, if you want it to be scaly, you can do it like little triangles. If there's something that's like odd shaped, like octagons or something, I'd cut it with pattern. You could do that and sew it that way, or you could do it with the fabric itself, like had this and you had extra, you could just sew it that way and just cut out extra out of the fabric. Like this is the fabric right here. Then you would have extra, you could just sew it, like fold it in, like say this was extra, and sew it that way. And then this would be the nice pretty part. The most of these ones, you can also do it at the end of your monofin. So like, imagine this is, I don't know, marker, or at least had a marker. Like that, the orange part, and then this part will be at the end, so it makes it more fluky. You can also put, string or like craft string on the end of it, or you can just cut up the fabric and do it with this, and it'd be multiples. You could just even just fold it over like this if you want it to be connected and tie it, or you can do strands at the very end corners, kind of like you draw your diagram. Kind of like this. But those are some extra ways that you can sew this on. And it's really not going to be how you decide to do it. But my best way that I've found to do to make the tails is to just experiment. And I like this. But experiment and do different shapes, because there are a lot of different shapes that people do their tails. Because if you don't make your own monofin, a lot of people just do the basic. I'll show you the shapes in a second. These two basic shapes, but with the ruffles and stuff, I mean, if you don't want it to be too hard, or if it's stretchy, one note is if you're stretchy and you're trying to cut out your monofin, if it's not stretchy, you need to make a zipper at the end, because your monofin is not coming out, and there's no point on putting all that effort into a monofin unless it's some cheap makeshift way, and you're not going to want to take it out anyways, or it's like trying to water seal it, like say you need something really cheap, like some really cheap plastic or something, and you don't want to take it out. I suggest that you put a zipper in there, or Velcro. Velcro is the best friend. Velcro works best for me because zippers, if they're not waterproof or not good enough metal, they're cheap, they might rust. You can always dry them off, but it's just better with Velcro. And that way, the end of the tail, the paper, like, because with the zipper, it'd be flat like this, and say zip. But if you want it to flow more, like so this was Velcro, there'd be certain spots, and this would kind of flow and look more natural. So it's really all dependent on you, but adding details to your tail will help it look more realistic, or make it look different than just oh anyone can just sew a tail, and it's actually can be hard unless you get to learn how to master it. But that way, it will look more realistic, and it'll give you some pizzazz. But really, just do what's comfortable for you, and play around. And really, this is like a pair of old pants. And I would test it out before you do it on something that you're like, oh my god, I got this amazing scale fabric. I'd test it out on something that's like an old sheet or something that in case it doesn't turn out. Okay, well, we'll be fine.